Muy buenas a todos, chicos y chicas, ¿qué tal estáis? Bienvenidos a un capítulo más del Let's Play de Dragon Age de Veilguard. Y lo habíamos dejado justamente por aquí. Vamos a continuar. Tenemos que hablar con algunos amigos nuestros. Como por ejemplo, tenemos una conversación con Emric. Tenemos misión con Tash. Cuidado,
With all my regards. Oh, but I don't want them to think me homesick.
Hi, Emric.
Rook, hello. Just composing a few letters. The other Watchers have been most interested in our adventures.
A ver.
So, I've heard people call necromancers mortalitasi. What's the difference between them and the Mornwatch?
Oh, all Navaran necromancers are mortalitasi. The Watchers are a special order within them.
Very fancy.
We've certain privileges and attendant responsibilities.
What's the Mornwatch do?
Our first duty is safekeeping the Grand Necropolis and preparing the funerary dead. Another is stopping misuse of dark magic and necromancy.
Must keep you busy.
Not often, but on occasion.
What's the Grand Necropolis like?
Its majesty has stilled the tongues of kings and queens. It's a haven for spirits and the dead.
El puto Manfred.
Well of history, the duty and shelter of every Watcher. We who serve it are pledged to an eternal vigil.
What do Watchers, watch for?
There are stranger and more dangerous things than spirits in the Fade, Rook. The Watchers stand against them when their shadows rise.
Anything lately?
A few portents I cannot put down solely to the chaos of the elven gods, but nothing definitive. Perhaps only shivers in the void.
I couldn't help overhearing the word homesick.
Oh, I'm fine. Completely absorbed in our venture. But if I were home, I'd be preparing for new students or requests to speak to the dead.
Can people just ask you to show up for some corpse whispering?
Oh, nothing official. There are very few of us, but we help here and there. Questioning a victim of murder, clearing up disputed wills, and sometimes fetching back last words from a loved one.
You can get anything out of the dead and they just let you leave Navarra.
My gift has limitations. The dead only know what they did in life. What was clear under the sun is sometimes blurred when I revive them.
Makes sense.
Honestly, some conversations aren't worth the trouble. Death encourages obstinacy.
You didn't stop teaching just to be with us, did you?
I'm long overdue for a sabbatical. Besides, do you know how many students the faculty wanted in my class next season? 10! How's one meant to tailor separate lessons for 10 pupils at a time? Honestly.
Joder.
Good to chat. I'll let you get back to your letter.
Before you go, I wanted to thank you for your company in the Memorial Gardens. There's another ceremony I have to perform there. If you'd like to visit again. Not yet, but soon.
Sounds good. Sometimes I miss home too.
Rook, I'm not... well, perhaps a little.
You'll cheer up once we look at some graves, I bet.
The ceremony should be most centering. I'll let you know when it's time.
Seguramente sea otra misión secundaria de compañeros. Pero bueno, está bien. El gran pasaje. Ha sido raro levantarme y darme cuenta de que no tengo que preparar ninguna clase. Mis últimos alumnos estaban bien preparados cuando terminaron las clases, o eso espero. Edwina y Lorimer me han enviado cartas. Siempre es un halago que se acuerden de ti, tus antiguos alumnos. Ahora que estoy instalado en el faro, no puedo evitar pensar en lo primero que suelen preguntarme. ¿Es cierto que cada vez que muere alguien, un espíritu debe acceder al mundo de los mortales? Suele sorprenderles saber que se trata de una idea propia de Nevarra. Invocar a un espíritu benigno para responder a la pregunta suele ser una de mis demostraciones prácticas favoritas, y les gusta mucho a los recién llegados. Los alumnos no tardan en aprender que esa línea de investigación es imposible. A casi todos los espíritus les cuesta asimilar el concepto de cantidad, por no hablar de los números. Nadie, mortal o no, parece saber cómo contar tanto a las personas del mundo como a los espíritus del más allá. Sin embargo, no puedo descartar la idea de que podría existir cierto intercambio de alumnas humanas y de espíritus nacidos en el más allá. Este folclore está ligado a la fundación de Nevarra, y si algo he aprendido aquí es que el más allá es más extraño de lo que imaginábamos en la necrópolis. Aquí hay algo más. Diario de Emric, libros prohibidos. Me han vuelto a pedir también... Me han vuelto a pedir mi opinión sobre textos candidatos a incluirse en nuestra lista de tomos y pergaminos prohibidos. No me he dado cuenta de que ya era esta época del año. Bueno, a ver qué hay en la lista. La puesta de la luz de Lumière Bartlett, se ha descubierto una nueva página. ¿Quién sabe cuántos artistas han redescubierto páginas perdidas de la obra de Bartlett? Aún así, si tiene alguna conexión con el último rey, tendremos que tener cuidado. Recomiendo que custodiemos bajo llave la página hasta que determinemos su procedencia. La magia de las serpientes carmesíes, anónimo. Una guía venenosamente sencilla de magia de sangre, la práctica prohibida favorita de Tevinter. Pobre Nef, a lo que se enfrenta todas las semanas. Dejemos que los vigías superiores tengan acceso a él, pero solo para que aprendan a detectarla y a defenderse de ella. Neces, anónimo, escrito en tablas de piedra. He omitido el título completo, obviamente. Daría mucho por encontrar al espíritu maligno que dictó estas palabras. Esta es la quinta copia que encontramos. Prohibida. Evitemos que se propague. Y me temo que debemos considerar si la destrucción de las tablas atraería a su verdadero autor. Joder. La vida impúdica, reseñas de libros recopilados de 938 a 942, edición con relieve dorado para el verdadero coleccionista. Esto es absurdo. Los vigías del duelo trabajan con los muertos. No nos concierne prohibir los inofensivos vicios de los vivos. Y cuestiono a cualquiera que lo haya considerado para esta lista. A lo mejor ha sido Velara. Vale. Una vez hablado con este hombre, vamos a hablar con Tash, que tiene una quest.
Hey, glad you stopped by. I was gonna grab drinks with the Lords of Fortune at the Hilt. Come along if you want. Get to know the Lords.
Sounds good.
Vale. Misión de compañero. ¿Quién más necesitaba? Nef. Nef lo necesitaba. Uf, todavía queda. Uy, ¿qué hace Nef con Hassan?
You seem at home here. Or is it a front? You know something I don't? So much for a straight answer.
Nev, you don't strike me as an animal person. Besides cats, maybe.
Oh, I'm not. Back home, you find a creature bigger than a cat, and it's probably half demonic. Damned if a third of the cats aren't either.
Nah, Hassan es un
That's
chavalote.
nothing like you, is it, Assad? You might be fluff all the way through. It was a compliment.
Of all the nonsense we've run into, you're what's strange.
Hassan? Really?
There's been a god or two I didn't expect. But bad mages trying to make the world worse, that's not new. I had an uncle who went on about wardens and griffins. Loved the feathered things. They were always the heroes. If we're getting bedtime stories turned real, having griffins in the world again, it's
Claro, se creían
not the one I'd have bet on.
literalmente extintos.
Were you close with your uncle?
I didn't see him much, but yeah, we were. There aren't a lot of mages in my family, and in a city like Memrathis, it always matters. I learned quick who wanted to use me to step up the social ladder. My uncle wasn't one of them. He'd have talked your ear right off, Hassan.
¿Por qué esto es romanceo? No lo entiendo.
Maybe he's a sign. Good things coming out of disaster.
A lucky charm? I wouldn't go that far. But we better keep you safe. Sing your praises and you still want something? I'll find you a treat if you don't tell Davrin. Have we got a deal?
You want someone at your back besides Davrin? It's her. I wouldn't cross her.
Listen up. If Davrin finds crumbs, Rook takes the fall.
Oh, I see how it is.
Hija de puta. Vale, conversación hecha. Pues... A ver, biblioteca... Los dragones sombríos... Notas del caso de Neff, la desaparición de Cena. Un par de cartas que había entre las notas de los casos de Neff. La primera, con las letras muy juntas entre sí. Está escrita en un pequeño trozo de papel. Cerida nieve gallos, tengo trabajo para ti. Ven a la estatua de ojos saltones cualquier día de esta semana. Soy Leaf. La segunda carta está escrita en un trozo de papel más grande y tiene varias ilustraciones. Cerida nieve gallos. Solo quería decirte que hice lo que me dijiste. Y a Cena le encantó mucho que le rasque detrás de la oreja y movía la cola mucho. Y dice que muchas gracias por encontrarla. Soy Leaf. Debajo hay varios dibujos. Una chica, una perrita, la luna, una nube con lluvia, 3 barcos, una espiral que igual representa la magia y una persona muy alta que podría ser Neff. Salvaría a una niña a lo mejor. Vale. Pues... hay que venir aquí. Obviamente con Tash. Y vamos a venir con... Velara, que es la más bajita de todas, ¿eh? En cuanto a su vida. En cuanto a estar subida de esto.
Tash, hunted any dragons lately?
Uy.
Free tactical sheath with any purchase, worth at least 50 gold.
Esto no tiene nada nuevo ya, ¿no? No.
For gold and glory.
Es una conversación, aunque es una... literalmente es una misión de... Es una misión de compañero, pero es una conversación nada más.
I saw the Hivernal flying by with my own eyes, big as the sky, and ready for the lords to come be heroes. We take it down, and the village nearby will eat like kings and love us for it. It had bright red and blue scales. They'll be worth a fortune, even beyond the horde.
That's not a Hivernal. You saw a Calton's on. And she's acting normal. She's not one of the dragons blighted by the gods. Going after her would get us killed for no good reason.
I'm gonna have to side with the Lords of Fortune's resident dragon expert.
You sure you're not just scared, Tosh?
Fight it if you want. Tell us where to send your stuff after it kills you.
Aw, sorry, Cutter. Tash gets final say. We leave the Cultons on alone.
You think I can't fight a dragon just because I don't breathe fire?
You can't fight a dragon because you don't know what you're doing.
Fine. You're the expert.
I guess Cutter's really trying to make a name for himself.
Good way to get killed.
There's rumors of another dragon off to the west. Heard anything, Tash?
Yeah. Not sure if it's blighted like the ones that attacked Minrathous and Treviso. But it's killing people in villages near Arlethan Forest. They need help.
Well, that's glory.
It's a fire breather. They always have lairs with a horde.
And there's gold. Tempted yet?
We might be able to spare the time for a dragon hunt.
Can't wait to see what you find. Now, has Tash told you about fighting a Gamadon storm rider in the middle of a typhoon?
Best time to catch him.
Oh, it was glorious, Rook.
Isabela, por favor, quítate el sombrero ese. O sea, es una mierda. ¿Ya está? Vale, voy a volver al faro a ver si hay algo más. A lo mejor ahora se desbloqueó la misión o algo. Mira, ahora podemos hablar con Dabrin. Del tirón. Hablemos con él y ya lo último que quedaría es seguir la misión principal. Es decir, ir a ver a Morrigan. Hablar con ella.
Okay, that's enough.
Hostia, no me digas que estos dos se están peleando.
Quiet now. Fine. Who wants a treat?
I didn't know Manfred could eat.
Not sure if he knows either. But it worked.
Let's see what he does with it.
Yeah, if I had a treat. That was just a little white lie to quell the riot.
Are you sure it's little to them?
Le está
Well,
imitando.
you've done it. Manfred won't be denied.
Come on, guys, give me a break. Rook?
What are we all saying?
Well, it isn't be quiet.
Sorry. It's all I've got.
Venga, hombre, si estamos de
Wait,
cachondeo.
you can't just leave me with the...
Good luck with that.
Pero si están de cachondeo, por favor. Que no pasa nada. Y el Dabrin este, que tío más soso, hermano. Están de cachondeo, no pasa nada. Bueno. Esto no se puede. Esto... Nivel 40. No se puede todavía. Nivel 42. Joder, macho. Pues nada. A ver a Morrigan. No nos queda otra más. Antes un repasito, ¿vale? No hay misión. No hay misión. No hay. No hay. No hay. No hay. Y no hay. Un momentito. A ver. Velar hasta el 4 así. Puf. Me quiero llevar a Velara y Dabrin, que son los que están a punto. Y mira, Dabrin está a punto y Velara hay que subirla a la pobre, porque mira, Emric está al 5. Esta casi al 7. Este está a la mitad del 5. Este está al 5. Este está empezando. O sea, es Velara y Dabrin a los que voy a llevar a ver a Morrigan. Y no hay más que hablar.
Give me a hand.
In a moment.
You've done a lot for the city. Let's see if I can return the favor.
Que hasta nivel 4 nada, tío.
Come back anytime.
Come back anytime.
Sorry, do I...
Nada.
Look after your swords, and they'll look after you.
Oye, ¿dónde es para hablar con Morrigan? Ah. Oye, pregunta, ¿puedo coger ahora ese cofre, verdad? Seguramente ahora puedo cogerlo. Vamos a intentarlo, a ver. Mira.
What were we talking about? I hear you're the one who got that fancy Illuvian up and running.
I did. Well, most of the way. Everyone helped out.
So tell me, how safe is it? Any reason to be worried?
Oh, you shouldn't worry at all.
So it's safe then?
No, just worrying won't help. Whatever happens would be instantaneous.
Abominaciones en Tevinter. ¿Por qué los magos de Tevinter parecen ser menos propensos a las posesiones demoníacas que los del sur? Antes de nada, nuestros magos no son inmunes a la posesión, y a veces pasa, como en todas partes. Pero sí, parece que las abominaciones se ven con menos frecuencia. Esto no es una cuestión de talento, como muchos creen. La diferencia esencial es la aceptación y la educación. Aquí, los niños magos son bienvenidos. Su magia es un don, y se les enseña, de un modo objetivo, a usarla. Se les muestran todas las posibilidades, no solo los obstáculos. Cuando yo viajé al sur, vi cómo tratabais a vuestros magos. Los enjauláis. En su vida solo hay templarios, muros y sobre todo vergüenza. Aprenden a odiar y temer todo lo que son. Cuando se les enseña que todos los hechizos que usen pueden volverlos vulnerables a las posesiones, cada acto mágico se vuelve arriesgado. ¿Es acaso una sorpresa que la magia se convierta entonces en aquello que creen que es? ¿Su perdición? Fragmento de una misiva entre el maese Dorian Pavus y la divina victoria de Val Royo. En eso, Dorian tiene mucha razón.
That's reassuring.
Es el miedo a convertirse lo que les acojona. Prueba de un trato. C. Se oían susurros en la niebla. Solo eso. Pero luego se oía una voz y una oferta. Sé que lo dijo. Después de todo lo que pasó, ¿cómo podría decir que no? No volveré a escribirte, así que cuídate.
Whispers. Offers. Someone made a deal with the demon.
Folleto antiguo. Hablabas de este sitio. Se ha ido a pique. No me extraña. Lo único que había en el menú eran salchichas con manteca de frutos secos en un bollo de pan. Los bollos no estaban mal, supongo. Grabateado en un viejo panfleto de carne de wet. ¿Cuántos cofres tengo ahora? 15 de 25. Me faltan 10. Me faltan 10 que están por aquí, más o menos. Lo más seguro es que estén por aquí abajo. 2 de los tochos y una estatua de Fen'Harel.
Trial by dragon.
Ahí está Harding. Misión principal, chavales.
Isn't she helping the Veil Jumpers in Arlathan?
Indeed, but today we have a guest, and he needed the anonymity that only a city provides.
Well, look who it is.
Good to see you, Lace.
El Inquisidor.
You remember how Varric and I served the Inquisition? Well, this is Inquisitor Trevelyan, the man who led us all.
No tiene la cara del Inquisidor del 3, del Dragon Age Inquisition, pero lo he intentado,
Trevelyan? Isn't that the name of a noble family down in the south?
Yes. I remember the days before the Inquisition, when Trevelyan family politics were the most complicated part of my life. Simpler times.
I fear that simpler times are like to remain a memory. For now.
Morrigan and Harding have told me about what you've accomplished since taking over for Varric. You've put together an impressive team, and you've got the best chance, maybe the only chance, to stop Elganon and Gillenane.
I won't let you down.
Don't worry about me. Worry about the people you've recruited, and about the people depending on you. I only sealed the breach because I had people like Cassandra, Liliana, and Cullen with me from the start. Without Dorian's magic and Josephine's diplomacy, we never would have come together to stop Corypheus. Years later, I had to turn the Inquisition over to Chantry control. But I never lost the friends who had gotten me through it all. Ultimately, they're the only ones you can really count on. Do right by them and you'll find your way.
We've got the makings of a good team, I think. We'll do our best.
And while you do so, Rook, the Inquisitor will do his best to ensure that the rest of the world remains intact. A daunting prospect, given that most of the South is under siege by Darkspawn.
It's that bad?
If not for the Inquisitor, the South would have collapsed completely. He has not been idle while you assembled your team.
If the South is in such turmoil, why come up here just to talk? And how did you get here so fast?
Did you think you were the only one to unlock the secrets of the Illuvians?
Morgan helped the Inquisition use the Illuvians to travel.
While I lack the Dreadwolf's Viravus, I may still scurry between the walls of this world to be where I might do the most good. The Inquisitor asked to meet you, and I thought it might help you to meet him.
I thought the gods were mostly active up here. It's really that bad in the south?
Elganon and Gillenane have indeed restricted their activities to the north. But the forces they deployed to the south, the strange new Darkspawn, have spread fear and corruption greater than any blight in history.
Darkspawn have cut through the center of Orlais. Valroyo and Halam Shiral are barely holding out. Ferelden would have fallen already if not for help from Orzammar. With Denerim lost, the Fereldans are holding the line at Redcliffe. The Free Marches have the worst of it.
¿Denerim ha caído? ¿Y qué ha pasado con...? No se va a mencionar porque como no hay partida, como no pasan las partidas, no... Hostia puta, tío. ¿Y el rey? ¿Qué pasa con Alistair? ¿Qué pasa con él? Denerim ha caído. ¿Y si no fuera por Orzammar? No... Si no fuera por Orzammar, Ferelden se habría ido al carajo. Y todos los humanos están en risco rojo. A lo mejor Alistair está en risco rojo. Y mira, las marcas libres se llevan la peor parte. La vizcondesa en funciones. Es decir, Aveline ahora es vizcondesa en funciones.
Acting Viscount Aveline Valen led the evacuation of Kirkwall. She's taking her people and what's left of her army to help Prince Vale keep Starkhaven.
El príncipe Vael, Sebastián, del 2.
We didn't know. My mom.
Don't worry. I talked to the Divine and your mother's safe with the Inquisition.
Thank you.
The Inquisition might just be an arm of the Chantry now, but we've still done our part to get people to fight this threat together. Again, the South is my problem, not yours, Rook. You stop the gods, and I'll make sure the rest of Thedas doesn't fall to the Blight.
I have a team, but not much in the way of forces. If there's any military support you can spare.
I'm sorry. Our forces in the South are stretched thin already. And I'm afraid the Grey Warden leadership doesn't think much more highly of me than they do of you.
The Inquisitor did not come all this way to leave you with empty words, however. He brought something no one else could.
A wolf statuette. We've found others like it in the crossroads. Where'd you find yours?
I found it right around the time Solus's ritual failed, when he was pulled into the Fade. We've examined the magic, and it's tied to the Veil. To him, somehow.
Solus is ancient, and his magic is part of him in a way far beyond that of mortals. I suggest you take it to the crossroads and see if something in the lighthouse calls to it. Perhaps it will yield some insight into your new ally.
Solus is trapped in the Fade. He's not my biggest concern at the moment.
Solus is trapped in your dreams, and while he cannot match Elganon or Gillenane in strength, he is far more cunning. He is the Dreadwolf, He led a rebellion that lasted centuries. How many times do you think the gods thought him trapped and helpless?
Morrigan is right. Solus is dangerous. Anything that gives us some insight into his plans. He fooled us all before, and the whole world very nearly paid the price for it.
We should go, Inquisitor. The armies in the south need you.
Right. Harding, stay sharp. You're my eyes in the north.
Always, Inquisitor.
Rook, good luck. If I come across anything else that can help, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you.
No mencionan nada de Leliana. No mencionan nada de Leliana, no mencionan nada de Alistair. Morrigan no menciona si tiene un hijo o no. Si el hijo es canon del héroe de Ferelden. Es que no mencionan nada, tío. Es que vaya mierda. O sea, quiero decir, tío, no tienen en cuenta nada de Origins ni del 2. Me da mucha pena eso, tío. Que no tengan en cuenta nada de lo anterior. A mí eso me da mucha lástima, tío. Lo guapo que es que de repente aparezca un personaje del 1, del 2 y diga, ¡hostia! Un poquito de fanservice. No, es que no tienen nada en cuenta. Me da pena, tío. Me da lástima.
We should take a break. Head back to the lighthouse for a bit.
Un cambio en el viento. Vuelve al faro. Aquí. Una carta para Dorian. Chispas. Gracias por los libros que me has recomendado. A ver si así consigo despejar la cabeza un poco. El final de la Inquisición ha dejado a la Divina con un ejército enorme y nadie contra quien luchar. El corista sigue en Refugio Celeste intentando persuadirla para que convoque una gloriosa marcha contra Solas. A Sebastian siempre se le ha dado bien hacer reír al personal. Obviamente las ciudades-estado de las marcas libres se odian entre sí, y la mitad de ellas están intentando que la capilla respalde su longevo resquemor contra la otra mitad. Y todo el mundo está de los nervios. Y ahí está la Divina, o lo que queda de la Inquisición, tratando de mantener la paz. No me da envidia ninguna. Daré un abrazo a Mae de mi parte, ¿vale? A saber cuándo puedo volver a Minrathous. Y de toda la familia que me queda, ella es la única con la que aún me hablo. Barrick. Tampoco mencionan nada de Hawk. No mencionan a Hawk para nada, tío.
Rook, just got word. First Warden's calling everyone back to Weishaupt. Everyone except us, seems like. Guess the First Warden holds a grudge.
Calling Wardens back from all over Thedas is a big step. Did he give any reason why?
Not exactly, but I've heard rumors of a massive Darkspawn horde on the move. Even hearing there's an archdemon with them.
The other archdemons are dead. Only Razikale and Lucican live. So which one is it?
No one has a good look yet. Makes it hard to tell. Rook, if the gods have an archdemon, Warden lore says archdemons...
Los dioses no es que tengan un archidemonio, es que Gillannain y Elgarnan son Lusacan y Razikale.
Only show up during a blight. Doesn't say anything about elven gods. Seems
Porque
like
son
the rules
ellos.
Changed, and we're going in blind. We need to know what we're up against.
I'll talk to Solus. See if he knows anything about any of this. Make sure the others are ready to move.
El asedio de Weishaupt. ¿Cómo que el asedio? Harding tiene misión. Encuentra una forma de usar la estatuilla del lobo. Es aquí. Mira. Trozos de historia, ¿eh? Trocitos de lore.
You cannot do this, Algernon. You swore that we would give up our commands when this horrific war was over.
Our people need our leadership. If you're unwilling, leave.
Our people must rebuild. and we must help unite them.
Mythal.
So, we did not fight for freedom, but to conquer this land and our own.
We fought to win, and now the Evenuris are as gods. I do not answer to Mythal's annoying lapdog.
The people are afraid. They must believe in something.
They need strength.
And wisdom.
They need gods who can protect them.
We are not gods. You will learn that.
Every lapdog hides a wolf inside.
Se creían dioses y no lo eran, tío. Solo son magos muy fuertes y ya está, tío.
That was strange. They were speaking Elven, but I understood it.
I believe we have experienced a memory in each of our native languages.
Not just any memory. One of the Dread Wolves.
And the mages who declared themselves my gods. Well, mine and Davrin's.
Anyone see anything in that memory we can use?
Elgranon was hungry for power. Did anything he could to get it, and to hold on to it.
Then Solus, furious at Elganon's installing himself as a despot, started his rebellion.
There's another moving part in this. Mythal. She was keeping the peace.
Mythal and Solus were close. The Inquisition found a temple to Mythal, and there were wolf statues everywhere.
Then she sides with Elgranon over him. A betrayal.
It sounded like Solus was loyal to Mythal. What did Elganon call him? Mythal's lapdog? And then she grabs power alongside Elganon instead of standing for her principles. I'd be angry too.
Angry enough to start a rebellion?
That's not how he'd see it. He didn't destroy the world. Elganon did. Solus did what he considered necessary to stop him.
Solus would try to justify what he did, but he'd also blame himself for what happened.
Perhaps these murals aren't simply memories. They're what Solus wishes to forget.
His regrets. That means they're a way to learn his weak points.
Why are we worried about Solus? He's trapped.
Right. But the Dread Wolf was the god of trickery. He's looking for a way out. Bet on it.
Ya, eso sí lo sé.
Meanwhile, keep your eyes open in the crossroads. If there's a way to restore the rest of these murals, Solus would have kept it in his hideaway. It'd be nice to get inside his head for a change.
Un recuerdo de las falsas deidades. Visualiza un recuerdo en el faro. Hay más aquí, ¿eh?
I was not certain you would come.
You were the one who walked away. I never turn my back when my friend needs me.
The Evenuris seek the magic of the Blight.
Impossible. The Blight is safely sealed away forever.
Though I wish I could believe you. I have sensed the breaking of the wards.
I will investigate your claims. If they forget the danger of the Blight, I will endeavor to remind them.
What if, instead, you left the Evenuris and remained with me? Do you not wish for freedom from this struggle?
Be at peace, love. I will stop them.
As you must. The Blight is our mistake.
La ruina es nuestro error. ¿Veis? ¿Veis? Ellos crearon la ruina. Es por culpa suya que los engendros tenebrosos existen.
Did Mythal call Solus love in
Sí.
that memory?
Sí, sí.
That's what it sounded like.
So they were doing it.
The elven gods were free with their emotions. They felt things deeply. The way they expressed things, well, it feels romantic to us, but that wasn't really how it was. Back then, I mean.
Nah, they were doing it.
Oh, they were absolutely doing it.
being with someone you're rebelling against? Doesn't sound like Solus.
Estaba enamorado de
He
Mythal.
also met her in secret and talked about how they could run off together.
It sounded so tragic and romantic.
Oh, wait. Never mind. That does sound like him.
So the Dread Wolf goes to Mythal. They might be fighting, but they have history.
And he warns her about the other gods using the Blight. That's more important than his rebellion. It's like kingdoms coming together when an archdemon rises.
Mythal didn't think it was possible.
Tiene sentido.
She said the Blight was sealed away. There's an old legend about it. Davern, the one with Andrul's armor. Not sure it matters.
Cuéntala, cuéntala.
We're deep in elven lore already. What's the legend say?
Right. Well, Andrul was the goddess of the hunt. She put on armor, magic armor, made us something called the Void, drove her mad.
I remember this one. The other gods were afraid Andrul would turn on them. She was doing all kinds of horrible things, causing plagues. It does sound like the Blight.
Well, it all ends with Mythal fighting Andrul. After, Mythal turned into a dragon.
She what? Why didn't you start with that?
Anyway, she took Andrul's armor away. Then Andrul's madness left, and peace returned.
Intriguing. So it's possible Andrul stumbled onto the magic of the Blight.
And when Andrul went mad, Mythal took it from her and locked it away.
Until someone started using it again.
The Blight's one of the only things that really scares Solus. He came to Mythal afraid.
And she took it seriously too.
So Mythal goes off to investigate what Solus says. Then, what? It's too clean.
Seems plenty messy with them doing it.
But this isn't just a memory. It's something Solus wanted to hide. What's the crime? What did we see here that he feels guilty about?
I think I might know. When the Inquisitor was saving the world from the breach, he met Mythal.
Flemeth.
What? Like in a dream?
Flemeth.
It was complicated. She helped the Inquisition. There was a magic pond and a dragon.
Nice.
The point is, she also said the other elven gods betrayed her, killed her.
Es verdad. Literalmente, Flemeth, que es Mythal, está hiper cabreada, pero está cabreada de cojones.
Sorry, point of order. If they killed Mythal, how was she still around to help the Inquisition?
Elven god magic? She'd spent centuries gathering strength and sharing people's bodies, I think.
If it was a truly benign possession, that speaks to her character.
So there's the shame Solus wanted to erase. He blames himself for Mythal's murder.
Well, it's not just that she died.
What do you mean, Tosh?
It's... Ugh. There was stuff he wanted to tell her, but he waited too long, and then she was dead. He never got to make it right. That twists you up.
That's it. There's our crime.
Doesn't really tell us anything we can use, though.
We know more than we did. That's something.
Then I guess we keep our eyes open if we come across more of these memories.
Cada vez que veo un recuerdo, vamos a ver escenas como estas, ¿eh? Un recuerdo de nuestro error. El segundo recuerdo. Y aquí hay otro. Vamos a verlos todos, ¿eh? Los vamos a ver todos.
You dare to try to cage us, jealous of our growing power.
You will pay the final price for this betrayal.
We warned you not to use the Blight. For this, and for Mythal, I sentence you to sleep in exile ever after. Your own lives will form the veil that keeps the horror you unleashed at bay.
So he locked the gods away and created a veil between this world and the Fade. I mean, they were terrible, no question. But what he did, it didn't just stop them. It destroyed our culture, our world.
It wasn't just to stop them. It was to stop the Blight. We've seen how bad Elganon and Gillenane are. Imagine all 7 corrupted gods running wild.
So he created the Veil just to keep the elven gods locked in their prison?
Yes, to keep them from accessing the Fade. But was the creation of the Veil around the world an accident?
You heard him yelling. That's not the sound of a ritual going right.
What do you think, Rook?
Como guarda gris,
Davern and I have fought the Blight for years. It's terrifying.
hay que responder siempre.
Watching the gods poison his world, his people, I understand why Solus would do anything to stop it.
I know, Rook. I'm not denying that. I wish there'd been a better way. That's all.
So does he. This isn't a memory he's proud of.
I had another question, and I'm sorry, maybe this doesn't matter, but Solus trapped the blighted gods in an ancient elven building, right?
That's what it looks like. Maybe a palace? Fancier than what I've seen in Arlathan, at least.
And then, the Magisters were lured into the Fade. They broke in, which let the Blight escape, and turned the Golden City black.
Os acaba de dar Harding. Harding os acaba de dar toda la historia de dónde viene el Hacedor y toda esta peña. Ya está.
Right, and the Black City hangs in the Fade, a little reminder of their mistakes. What's wrong, Lace?
Coño.
It's just...
El cantar...
The Chant of Light says that the Maker built for them the Golden City, the center of all creation. But if the Golden City was an ancient elven palace, then the Maker didn't build it.
No.
The elves did. The Chant of Light...
O el Hacedor es un elfo.
...is Andraste's visions from the Maker. But it sounds like it's... wrong.
You're asking if we just disproved the entire Andrastian faith.
Obviamente.
Did we?
Claro. Confirmar una creencia prolongada en el Hacedor, hablar como alguien que no cree en el Hacedor, deja a un lado las dudas sobre el Hacedor, no dar una opinión personal acerca de la creencia del Hacedor, hablar como alguien que no cree en el Hacedor, compartir la creencia de Harding y la ansiedad por conocer esto. Siento que dura tanto, pero es que yo no creía en el Hacedor.
The Maker was never my faith, Lace. But I'm sorry this is hard for you.
The Chant of Light has seen many iterations over the centuries. This may simply change our understanding of it.
But this was the one I grew up with.
Ya, bueno.
My ma still sings the chant.
Yo me he criado en el cristianismo y tampoco creo en Jesucristo. Y si algún día se descubre que, oh, Dios mío, Jesucristo y Dios no han existido jamás de los jamases, por mucho que digan que sí, en la Biblia, la religión, las creencias, etcétera, 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 a mí no me va a sorprender. A mí no me va a doler, eso seguro.
You know, the Dalish clans are struggling with the same thing. What do we keep? What do we lose?
The Elven Gods, the Maker. No matter who you light a candle to, you've got some hard questions to ask yourself right now.
Doctrine is not the truth. It is one of many paths to the truth.
I recognize the sentiment, though not the specific quote. Who said that?
My mother.
¿Mi madre?
Questions of faith aside, we have some very real gods that still need...
Ya, sí, eso seguro.
Looks like there are 3 more of these murals with the Dreadwolf's old memories. Wonder what else he's hiding.
Quedan 3 más. No te preocupes, creo que tengo las 3. ¿No? Un recuerdo de los corazones ennegrecidos. Conseguí todas las estatuas, así que... creo. A lo mejor me falta una.
You have so long observed the world. Why not consider joining it?
But I have no desire to live as humans. I have the Fade. Besides, this talk of taking on a solid form. I think you underestimate the danger. When you took the glowing stone to build your body, did the earth not shake?
Delirium gives us the strength we had when we were of the Fade. We are the best of physical and spirit. I need your wisdom, Solus. To withstand the louder voices who would go too far like Elganon. I need you.
This is madness. You must know that. I will always follow where you go.
Cuidado, Empieza a retorcerse un poco la cosa. Cuidado con Mythal,
What? This is astounding. The ancient elves were spirits who voluntarily manifested a physical form.
I'd rather go back to talking about the Blight.
Hey, Lucanus. Could Spite turn into an elf?
No.
Sorry, but... What?
Es interesante, la verdad.
This puts all of elven history in a new light, not to mention what we think about spirits.
I mean, some magic works differently for elves. If we came from spirits, that'd explain it.
The knowledge that an entire people were formed from a mass manifestation could change our entire understanding of magic.
If we let it out, is that the right call? Do you want bigoted humans yelling about how elves are demons?
Davrin's got a point. World's not short on small-minded humans.
Nadie se lo creería, la verdad.
The entire idea is preposterous. Who would even believe us?
It does seem outlandish when taken out of context, I admit.
We have to tell someone, though. Strife and Irulan, at least.
If I told Thea and Viago, they'd think I was sampling Viago's poison collection. No one would believe us.
Okay. We keep this to people we trust who have good reason to know. No shouting it from the rooftops.
Agreed. The Morn Watch has a great deal of experience keeping dangerous secrets.
So, beyond the world-shaking stuff, what else did we learn here? Solus himself was a spirit.
What kind do you think he was?
Well, his name is Elven for pride.
Oh, okay.
There's something else. Not about spirits, or not all about them at least. Solus didn't want to become a person with a physical body.
Right. He only agreed after Mythal begged him.
Then that's his regret. He wishes he'd never taken physical form.
Maybe, but not just that. Solus was scared. They built their bodies out of lyrium, and it made the ground shake.
Claro, hicieron daño a los titanes, ¿no?
Lyrium is the blood of the Titans.
The Titans would have felt it as an attack. They defended themselves.
The first memory we saw with Elganon seizing power, it happened at the end of a war.
A war between the Titans and the elves.
Vaya.
Lace, I'm so sorry.
It feels like we still don't have the full picture. But I think that's part of what Solus regrets. He didn't see the danger.
Except he did. He was worried. You said it yourself.
He did it for Mythal. Everything that followed, he could have prevented, if he just told her no.
Then he's got a war on his conscience. Plus, whatever we find next.
Esto me está gustando mucho porque es literalmente lore. El cuarto. Este es el quinto. La daga, fíjate.
Have you created what we need?
With this, the proper ritual will sunder every Titan from its spirit. But you must know those severed dreams will certainly be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger. It is awful what we're doing.
And the only way to end this war.
¿Cojones?
Solus made the weapon that killed the Titans. No, not killed. He cut away their dreams and left them broken and mindless. He passed me in the halls of Skyhold for a year. He made polite conversation, and he knew. He knew what he did.
I don't know what to say, Lace. I can't even imagine. I'm so sorry.
I served in the Inquisition. I know terrible things happen in war. But to do something like this...
The Titans were the size of mountains. I doubt the elves were winning their fight. He considered this the cost of saving his people.
Fear and guilt make people do stupid things.
To do such a thing. No wonder regret eats away at Solus.
No, it's worse than that. That isn't what Solus regrets. Those severed dreams will be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger.
Mierda.
You can't. That's not possible.
When a warden hears the calling, it's like a song in their mind. Sound familiar to you, Lace?
The song of Lyrium. Of the Titans.
We think of the Blight as this monstrous force with no mercy, no compassion. Evil incarnate. Instead, it's a caged animal. Mistreated and imprisoned for centuries. Until all it knows is fear.
What does this mean for Darkspawn? Should we be trying to help them?
I don't believe so. If the Blight is a corrupted dream, Darkspawn may be mindless manifestations of its anger.
Right. They're not people. We're never going to get through to them.
The Titans are a problem.
Pero recordad que el arquitecto intentaba liberar a los engendros tenebrosos. Recordad que en Origins había engendros tenebrosos que hablaban, que eran inteligentes. Y al final, lo que provoca la ruina y lo que provoca la llamada era la sangre de los titanes. Joder.
For later. We have Elgernon and Gillanane to deal with now.
And then I want Solus to look me in the eye and answer for what he did.
Each of these memories has been a deeper regret, and almost all of them involve Mythal.
Todo por amor.
Only
Sí,
one
sí.
mural left to uncover by my count. If we find it, we'll see what's worse than this.
Venga, el último. El último tiene que estar aquí. El último, chavales.
I knew that you would find me soon enough. You need the power of a god, the strength that I alone still carry.
The blighted Evanuris will soon break free from their prison. I must make a stronger one that can contain them.
While the prison is important, it is not the only goal you seek.
Why should I not tear down the veil and bring back immortality to all the Elven people? They deserve it.
The Elven people of today do not deserve to see the world they love be torn apart to salve your conscience.
I must fix what I have broken. I am sorry.
As am I, old friend.
Esas flames, ¿eh?
Solus killed Mythal? After all that? Is this another memory from a different time?
No. He wore that same outfit in the Inquisition. We knew Solus woke up in this world without most of his power. Now we know how he got it back.
By killing the only other god around.
Hostia puta, cómo se han quitado a Flemeth así de en medio, tío. Me cago en la puta. Eso nunca se vio, ¿eh? ¿O sí se vio, tío? Espérate un momento. Es que no recuerdo yo a lo mejor mucho de... Un momento, ¿eh? Sí, sí que se ve. Es verdad. Sí, hay un vídeo, tío. Sí, sí, sí. Solas mata a Flemeth. Es verdad. Es verdad, sí, sí. Es verdad. Hostia puta, claro. Es verdad, es la postcréditos o algo así. Es verdad, tío. No me acordaba de esa escena, ¿eh? Para que veáis la de tiempo que hace que no me veía Dragon Age, que no jugaba Dragon Age Inquisition. Para que veáis la de tiempo que no lo veía. Eso es verdad. Eso es, creo que sería en las postcréditos. Antes del DLC intruso. Es verdad, tío. Hostia, tú, no me acordaba de que Flemeth moría así.
And stealing her power.
All that epic magic and godly power. In the end, it comes down to love and murder. Same as always.
All these memories are about Solus being sad that he was right and nobody else could see it. He was right about how becoming elves would lead to war with the Titans, but Mythal wouldn't listen.
He was right that using the dagger on the Titans was evil, but Mythal wouldn't listen.
He was so proud when he imprisoned the other gods. Finally, he got to prove that he was right, and they were wrong.
Then he wakes up in our time and finds out he was wrong. The elves have nothing. The Blight's a constant threat.
And Mythal's alive, somehow. But she still won't listen.
But this time he'll show her. No matter what it takes.
So, how does everything we know help us now?
He's being honest about fighting the Blight. Whatever happens, he won't risk letting it back out into the world.
Agreed. But he has a plan to escape that prison, and not one we'll like.
He turned on Mythal, the one person he was actually loyal to. There's no way he won't turn on us.
He's a spirit, or was once. He might be able to possess someone, affect minds, all the things spirits do.
He created the Veil. His very nature is tied to it. That will be a source of strength, but also a potential weakness.
Mythal has him all messed up. Anything about her or Elgernon is gonna make him angry. Sloppy.
Solus thinks he knows what's best for everyone. Anything he does, he'll do while telling himself he's the hero.
The bad news is that the god of lies and trickery is almost definitely preparing to betray us. The good news is that we've gone through his dirty laundry.
So, we know his motivations. You think we can set a trap of our own?
That's the hope.
You have witnessed the Protector's tale, Dweller, almost to its end.
Almost? How can there be more?
¿Cómo?
When the mighty fall, their echoes cross the ages. An audience is warranted. Speak with your visitor. She awaits you in the crossroads.
Esto hay que verlo, señores. No puedo acabar aquí. Esto hay que verlo, es Morrigan. Hay que verlo, chavales, esto hay que verlo. Antes de terminar. Esto hay que verlo. Es Morrigan, tú.
Well met, Rook.
How did you get here?
I did tell you I had my ways through Illuvians when I introduced you to the Inquisitor, did I not?
The Illuvians in general, yes, but not the Dread Wolf's crossroads.
I would think you have more pressing questions at the moment. Questions about Solus and Mythal?
Mythal?
The two gods have always been linked, have they not? First, when Mythal bade her companion spirit to abandon the Fade and take on mortal form. Then, when Solus spilled Mythal's mortal blood, that he might absorb her power as his own.
Wait. How do you know exactly what we saw of Solus's past?
Think upon it, Rook. You saw for yourself in the Dread Wolf's memories. When Mythal stood against the god's manipulations of the Blight, she was betrayed and struck down. Yet she survived and returned ages later to aid the Inquisition in its hour of need. How?
The elven gods had access to magic beyond anything we can imagine?
To be sure, but it matters less what they possessed than what they were. You recall that the first elves were spirits, do you not? Mythal was a spirit turned elven. And when her body was struck down, to spirit she returned. Her essence sheltered in a willing mortal vessel. Over the centuries, she journeyed from host to host, slowly amassing her former power anew. Until once again, she was struck down, on this occasion, by Solus. He absorbed her power, but not her memories.
Then where did they... Wait. You?
As you say.
Hombre, es la hija de Flemeth. Hostia, y tú eres ella, no me puedo creer. Por eso la criaba.
So you're the next host of Mythal?
Believe it or not, as you choose.
What? That was like how Elganon and Gillenane can talk in your head, but...
'Twas Mythal you heard, her echoes. Yet I am not the goddess returned.
What are you, then?
I once feared Mythal would consume me were I to carry her, but 'twas not so. I remained free-willed and mortal. What I now possess is but a spark of Mythal, shadowed memories through which to sift for meaning. As to our admixture, I suspect you have questions.
Bien. Hablemos.
You would have met Solus in the Inquisition, right?
I did indeed. 'Twas before I possessed Mythal's memories. At the time, I thought Solus a scowling elven apostate whose sole passion was finding arguments. He heard me, in all my ignorance, expound on the histories of the elven people, explaining legends he had witnessed himself.
Bet he loved that.
'Tis not a memory that brings me pride.
No se enfadaría. En plan de... Yo sé más que tú, escúchame.
How can you carry Mythal's soul if you're not an elf?
Her spark has sheltered within both elves and humans who were sympathetic to her in thought and circumstance. Mythal's last host was a woman wronged, trapped by those sworn to love her. We may readily imagine their kinship.
Do you have information we can use against Gillenane or Elganon, or Solus?
The last time Mythal faced Elganon and Gillenane, she was struck down by the very dagger you now carry.
What about Solus?
You may recall he murdered Mythal's former host to claim her godly might as his own. I hoard no untapped magical secrets, Rook. What I do possess, I share freely with you and the Veil Jumpers.
All right. So, there's the soul of an elven god inside you. How does that even happen?
Mythal's last host was my mother, Flemeth.
Oh.
Oh.
When I learned she intended me to become the next receptacle of an ancient god's soul, I feared naught would be left of my own. It inevitably came to pass on a deep night. I was awakened by the presence of a blaze of magic in the shape of a woman who both was and was not my mother.
I don't think I'd recover from that.
Neither did I, at the start. Mythal's memories were both gift and burden, this blazing woman told me, but I must accept them of my own accord. The decision was paralyzing. What would it mean to become such a host? What would be lost if I refused? In the end, 'twas something in my mother's voice which guided me.
What was that?
Regret. Not the regret of a god, but of a mother who knew she would never see me again. And so, my mind remains my own. What I gained was knowledge, both Mythal's and of those who bore her.
You didn't come out here just to tell me you're Mythal.
I am not Mythal in her entirety, but yes, the Dreadwolf has occasion to visit you in dreams, where he portions out advice. And now, after finding his memories, you have peered into his deepest sorrows. Tell me then, what do you make of Solus?
I should ask you. Mythal knew Solus better than anyone.
I would influence your answer. Or do you mean to discover if I would stand directly against the Dread Wolf were there a need?
Would you?
I shall aid you in any way but that, even had I the power. What has passed between Solus and Mythal, I beg you, do not ask this of me again.
Well, Solus killed the Titans, destroyed the ancient elves, and wants to ruin this world to bring back his old one. But he'll always make sure you hear just how sad he is about all the murder.
If that is how you see him, perhaps the Dread Wolf's words have not served as well as he might wish.
I'll say.
'Tis not malice which made Solus your opponent, but conviction, a belief that only he may halt what he set in motion. Yet Solus was once beloved of Mythal. 'Tis his very loyalty and love for his people that led to the tragedy we now face. You may be in a position to determine how it ends, more so than either of you might realize.
Maybe there's a way we all get what we want.
Do you truly believe such a thing?
Well, maybe at least what we deserve.
If you would shape the outcome of your battle, I've one last secret to share. When Mythal was struck down by the other gods, it was with her own lyrium dagger, the dagger you now carry. Solus recovered it from Elganon, and from it extracted a fragment of Mythal that had lain hidden within its depths. This fragment, a younger sister to the one I carry, if you will, resides here, in the crossroads. I can open the way for you. Find her, survive the encounter, and the essence you obtain will aid you in times to come.
Another fragment of Mythal, in addition to the one inside you.
You are aware of what the word fragment means, are you not? One small piece of many, formed when something greater is broken. The first elves were spirits, as you well know, and when a spirit is broken, it may shatter into pieces, each holding part of the original. Among the ancient elves who became known as gods, Dirthaman and his brother, Falondine, are but one example.
You make it sound like this piece of Mythal is going to attack me.
You know Solus, and have seen Elganon, and memories of Mythal. They are creatures of emotion, as all spirits are. The fragment of Mythal that resides in me lived among mortals for thousands of years. She has grown wiser and more patient. This younger sister has not. She is the essence of Mythal as a god. She is unlikely to listen to polite requests, and though she is but a fragment of the goddess, the battle will test you sorely.
If she's just going to attack us, why tell us about her at all? We have enough enemies already.
A fragment of a god's essence is a powerful thing. It may give you options against Elganon and Gillenane, or against the Dread Wolf himself, should he prove as cunning and treacherous as ever.
If I were to try to talk with her, do you have any suggestions?
She will demand respect, but detest flattery. She appreciates righteous anger, but will not tolerate pity. She is, for want of better phrasing, prickly. But if you are determined to try, then I wish you luck.
You would know this aspect of Mythal better than anyone. Could you try talking to her?
I dare say she would attack me on sight.
Spirits can't get along with fragments of each other.
Spirits, certainly. But the aspects of a self-righteous god who have walked different paths for ages? One bears the insult of her betrayal by the Evanuris, and then by Solus, as fresh wounds, insult upon injury. The other once fell in love with an Alamari chieftain and lived happily in a swamp for centuries.
Ya ves.
Each reminds the other that another path existed, that they could have been wrong, and nothing angers Mythal like being wrong.
What kind of spirit was Mythal before she became an elf? I know Solus is elven for pride.
Mythal enjoyed ruling and having power, but it came not from the overweening desire to crush resistance, as is the case with Elganon. The emotion that inspired her might best be described as benevolence, a guiding hand inclined to kindness. But like any spirit, when angered or twisted against her purpose, a more violent aspect arose. Where the Dreadwolf's wisdom gave way to pride when the world did not meet his standards, Mythal's benevolence gave way to retribution. After all, when kindness fails, the guilty must be punished.
Thank you for the information, Morrigan.
I only ask that you reflect upon what I have said. The Dreadwolf is not so apart from the world as he thinks. There, you have the advantage of him.
Joder. Vaya pedazo de info, ¿no? Nos ha metido aquí. ¿Qué hacemos? ¿Culminamos con esto?
A god's fragment, sharper than the whole. Prevail, or be sundered completely.
Pero vamos a ver, no sé qué nivel será, pero...
We're getting close to where Morrigan said that other fragment of Mythal was.
Joder, macho. Mensaje desde el frente, la lucha por el sur. Mensaje desde el frente, la lucha por el sur. Rook, esto es la Inquisición. Aunque las circunstancias que propiciaron nuestro encuentro no fueran las que nos hubiesen gustado, me alegro de que nos viéramos. Barrick me había hablado de ti, por supuesto, y Hardy no deja de contarme maravillas. Sin embargo, el mayor voto de confianza me lo dio Morrigan. Siempre se le ha dado bien encontrar a personas capaces de alterar los cimientos del mundo, aunque ellas mismas lo sepan todavía. Así que me sugirió que nos reuniéramos, y como siempre, seguir su consejo ha demostrado ser la mejor decisión. Desgraciadamente, no tengo buenas noticias. Los rumores sobre el ritual de Solas y la huida de los dioses se han extendido por el sur, y el olor a guerra se palpa en el aire. En Orleis, una facción independiente de la nobleza ha simpatizado con la causa Venatori y ha lanzado un ataque contra el ejército real orlesiano y los fuertes fronterizos de Ferelden. Los corsarios Antan persiguen los barcos que salen de Oswick, y en las espesuras más al sur ha vuelto a aparecer la ruina. Se han visto numerosos engendros tenebrosos cerca de las ruinas de Ostagar. ¡Otra vez! ¡Oh, Dios mío! Pero te dije que me dejases el sur a mí, y lo mantengo. No te cuento todo esto para pedirte ayuda, sino para recordarte que tú y tu gente tenéis muchísimo apoyo. Los dioses provocan los males más terribles en Cedas, pero sus habitantes siguen firmes y resueltos. Ocúpate de los dioses en el norte y yo me hago cargo del sur. Y cuando todo esto acabe, brindaremos por la victoria. Yo pago la primera ronda. Atentamente, el Inquisidor. ¿De qué nivel será esto? Las últimas palabras del traidor. La piedra cercana tiene marcas de unas garras colosales. Hay un mensaje en el suelo, grabado con mano temblorosa usando un diente roto. Me acusaron de traicionar a Fen'Harel y me arrojaron desde las alturas. Declaré mi inocencia entonces y la declaro ahora, mientras me arrastro con las extremidades destrozadas, pero nadie me oye. Así que me ofrezco para la ejecución que más satisfacción proporcionó a los dioses en su día. Que el fuego limpie el nombre de Nunael.
That has to be her.
Mythal herself. There's so much we could learn if... Do you think she might talk to us instead of attacking?
Guess we'll find out.
You are Rook. I have seen you and your companions. We made ourselves bodies to be like humans, but I never expected to see humans scurrying about in the Dread Wolf's crossroads. And you know who I am?
Mythal.
The part of me that survived betrayal by the rest of the Evanuris, if this can be called surviving. Solus. He drew me from the dagger that struck me down, but what is left of me can only survive here. I cannot return to the world, and even the true Fade is denied me. All I can do is watch. Why are you here? To beg me to give up what remains of myself to help you defeat the monsters Elganan and Gillenane have become? Or do you simply think yourself ready to fight a god?
I came here to ask for your help. The gods have endangered the world and...
You dare explain to me what they are doing? You are 1,000 years from knowing the proper words.
We saw Solus's memories, his regrets.
You saw the recollection he cultivated like a tree twisting to catch the sun. You wish for my help? Convince me. Make your case, and I will yield my essence willingly to help you against Elganan and Gillenane. Fail, and I shall kill you for wasting my time, or you will kill me and obtain my essence in doing so. A harder-edged, simpler version.
Joder.
It has been centuries since a petitioner stood before me, so why should I help you?
Hostia puta, tío. ¿Qué coño le digo para que no me mate? ¿O para que no me ataque? ¿Qué coño le digo, hermano? ¿Qué le digo para que no...? Oh, Dios mío, tío. ¿Qué le digo, tío? ¿Qué puedo decirle, tío? Es que cualquier cosa que le diga, a lo mejor... ¿Sabes? Es que no sé. Porque lo merecemos, y yo por la puta cara.
I am worthy of your help.
That is for me to judge.
I am fighting to protect this world.
Any petty tyrant can fight those who come to their land and claim to be protecting their people. I have seen rulers, human as you are, the mages of Tevinter, following in the Elven Empire's footsteps. They build nothing that does not serve them. Why should I believe you are
Porque voy a salvar el mundo, loco.
What is a
¿No?
protector to you?
¿Qué es un protector para ti? Pues crear un lugar seguro, ¿no?
It's making a place that's safe for everyone. That means defending against danger. But it also means building a strong community that works together for the common good.
And what have you built?
Look at my team. We're not just hired blades. We started as strangers and grew together into a family.
Not bad, but not enough.
Mm.
Let us speak of something else.
Vale. ¿Qué le pregunto? Tenemos que detener la ruina. Es que la ruina es lo peor de todo, en verdad.
If I don't stop the gods, the whole world will be corrupted by the blight.
That is why you must succeed, so tell me why I must help you.
We know the truth about the Blight. We know it came from the imprisoned
Coño,
dreams of the Titans after you and
tú
Solus defeated them.
Tú lo has visto. Exactamente. Es que esto iba a decir en plan de... Tú hiciste frente por solas porque te dijo, oye, mira esto. Y ella dijo, yo les detengo. Tú les hiciste frente, claro, sí.
Stopping the Blight mattered enough for you to talk with Solus even after he rebelled.
Creo que los recuerdos son los que te ayudan un poco a decidir la respuesta correcta. Es en plan de... Cuando Solas le dijo, esto está mal, no sé qué, ella dijo, vale, yo intentaré detener esto cuando habló sobre las ruinas. Y es verdad. Ella les hizo frente. De ahí que tú digas, vale, la decisión...
It mattered enough for you to stand against the other gods.
And I was struck down for doing so, betrayed by those I had ruled beside for centuries.
You made the difficult choice to protect your home because it was the right thing to do. Help me do the same.
If you wish to prove your worth, you must do better than that.
Porque hay que pararle los pies, tía.
You can't want Elganon and Gillenane to rule the world.
Es que... Y fuiste contra ellos, venga ya.
Alongside them for centuries, I bear them no love now, and they were ever flawed, as all rulers are. Yet the world needs rulers. So set the Blight aside and tell me.
¿Porque te mataron?
Help you topple them.
Ahí está. ¿Te mataron?
What they did to you was wrong.
And you care so deeply for the injustice done to me thousands of years ago.
Hombre, tú más que nadie querrás vengarte, ¿no?
And they deserve to be punished for misusing their power and killing you when you tried to check them.
Your arguments are compelling. I find you worthy, Rook. I have spent thousands of years watching. I shall miss that.
Hostia, lo hemos hecho, ¿eh?
But if what I am can protect the innocent and smite the guilty, this is what remains of me. I give it to you freely. Use it to protect this world with kindness when possible and cunning when necessary.
I will. Thank you.
I offer one further boon. I cannot enter the physical world or the pure Fade, but in this place, I still carry some power. Evil has intruded here. The Blight, seeded by Elganon and Gillenane. Find it. And when you meet your greatest challenge, I will fly one last time.
Fly, volaré. Vale, dejadme mirar una cosa.
The essence of a god.
Mythal and us.
Like a piece of the sun. I've never felt something so alive.
Dejadme mirar una cosa.
I don't want to ruin the moment, but what do we do with it?
No tengo ni idea.
The god knows her moment. At least her essence does. When the time comes, we'll be ready.
Mente despejada y corazón abierto. Has alzado tu voz hacia Mythal.
We did it. We got Mythal's essence.
No hemos tenido ni que pelear con ella. Lo hemos hecho. Vale, la misión. ¿Qué nivel? Escoger mal implica enfrentarse a un dragón de nivel 45. De la que nos hemos librado, chavales. De la que nos hemos librado. A ver el códice, el pueblo élfico. Aquí. Fragmentos de Mythal. Extracto de una carta de la vidente Rowan, de los señores de la fortuna, a Emric y Velara. Es fascinante oír la historia del encuentro de vuestro grupo con el fragmento de Mythal. Si los dioses élficos son realmente espíritus que se manifestaron, eran lo suficientemente complejos como para contener una variedad de impulsos y emociones. Cuando Mythal fue asesinada, puede que cada fragmento pasara a representar una parte de su personalidad. Extracto de la respuesta de Velara. Sí. Cuando les pregunté a los dalisianos sobre Flemeth, ella aportó a Mythal antes que Morrigan, descubrí que los clanes dalisianos la conocían como Asha Velanar, respetada como maga a pesar de ser humana. Parece que, aunque ya no intentaba gobernar, aún quería ayudar, o entrometerse. A Mythal y Flemeth les gustaba entrometerse. Extracto de la respuesta de Emric. Efectivamente, plantea la pregunta de si el fragmento de Mythal que porta Morrigan estaba ligado a la guía y la sabiduría de un modo más natural que el espíritu más imperioso que encontramos en la encrucijada. Pueden ser diferentes facetas de la personalidad de Mythal, la mentora en contraposición a la gobernante. Es posible que la personalidad de los fragmentos también fuese más parecida en un principio, y fue desviándose con el paso de los años. Imagino que el fragmento de Flemeth fue cambiando al pasar tantos siglos con los mortales, y tal vez el fragmento de la encrucijada se sentía cada vez más frustrada por su propia incapacidad de influir en el mundo exterior. También podría ser una mezcla de lo anterior. Un espíritu, como cualquier persona, puede afectar a los demás y verse afectado por los demás a su vez. ¿Este arma qué es, tío? No tiene daño físico. No tiene daño físico. Inflige 80 de daño ígneo, 80 de necrótico, 80 de eléctrico y 80... La pruebo. Voy a probarla. No hago daño físico. Es la mano torpe. Voy a probar el arma luego.
He didn't even have to fight her.
Not sure what we do with it just yet, but if Morrigan's telling the truth, it'll come in handy at some point.
La protectora caída, una máscara de teatro de Mythal usada en una pantomima. En la historia, ella es el presagio que alienta el relato, la que sufre antes y más intensamente que nadie las fuerzas que desean que la historia se quede sin contar y el papel protagonista que se quede sin vítores. Y esto es el escenario de pelea, claro, esto era un dragón que te quieres cagar, ¿verdad? Otro recuerdo. Gracia de Mythal. Un medallón que muestra el símbolo de Mythal. A su alrededor se puede ver la notación espectral de una canción que no se puede oír en este mundo. Y como es obvio, el cofre tocho. Un reflejo pálido, más 20% de daño contra enemigos con la salud baja. Ahora siempre se considerará que los enemigos normales tienen la salud baja. Derrotar a un enemigo otorga un 5% de técnica definitiva. ¿Esto qué es? Un refugio para Mythal. Sola siempre creyó que Mythal acabaría por unírsenos, que ella era mejor que los demás Evanuris. Hizo este lugar de modo que ella estuviera cómoda una vez que se uniera a la rebelión. Ahora ya es tarde. Sola se ha sucumbido al pesar y ha sellado este sitio. No me va a dejar acceder. Lo siento, amigo mío. Al final resulta que la guerra aún te podía arrebatar algo más. Felasan. Cágate, ¿eh? Cágate, ¿eh? Vale, aquí me falta uno de Fen'Harel, 3 tochos y uno normal. Ya serían 2 tochos. Y ya estaría, ¿no? Porque no veo más. Bueno, quiero volver al faro. Quiero ver una cosa antes de irme, antes de terminar el capítulo. Ha sido un buen capítulo, ¿eh? Ha sido un muy buen capítulo de mucho lore, tío. Vale. Hardin tiene para dar y tomar ahora mismo. Tiene una misión nueva Hardin que la haremos. Así que nada, chicos, chicas, vamos a dejar el capítulo de hoy justamente por aquí. Y en el siguiente continuaremos. Ha sido un muy buen capítulo, porque encima hemos visto muchísimo lore. Así que nada, chicos, chicas, muchísimas gracias por haber visto este vídeo. Dadle like si os ha gustado, dislike si no. Y ya sabéis, si queréis apoyar esta serie y queréis apoyar al canal, tan solo tenéis que darle like a los vídeos, suscribiros, compartir, comentar y activad la campanita de la suscripción sobre... si queréis que YouTube os avise de cuando subo un nuevo vídeo. Así que nada más, un saludito a todos y nos vemos en el próximo capítulo de Dragon Age de Veilguard. Hasta otra, zagales.